it seems to me that if I'm Hendrickson, I'm waiting. Like now it's to my benefit to have midnight strike later because I want Watt and Micah to sign first. You know what I mean? Like and the same thing is, I guess, Micah seems to be like, we saw him at Fanatics Fest too. He's just like going about his business of being Micah Parsons in the world. He knows it's coming.
He told me, don't give up. He goes,
is that what he said to you?
He literally said, it's our year.
So, Tom, there's some information for you. Don't give up is what he told a fellow Cowboy fan. You know what I mean? Like, to me, Jerry Jones's clock ticks in a way that, midnight is going to eventually strike. Just the question is what it is in Jerry's head. I want Watt and I want Micah to sign before I do now. That's what I would be like if I'm Trey Hendrickson. Tom.
Mike is in a little different category because he's younger, because it's a second contract player in terms of the risk factors, the risk of not just injury, but
that's
also
true.
play falling off.
That's true. But I'm Trey Hendrickson. I'm on a team that desperately needs my services. Shamar Stewart, who I'd love to get your 2 cents on as well, on what the fix is there to get this rookie edge rusher in, because they have to. This team needs me. It doesn't matter that I'm older than Micah. I still do the same job as Micah. And as far as I'm concerned, I do it maybe even better than Micah. It doesn't matter that I'm older, which just makes it seem for me, I get my money. Like now, because I know I might not get it again. This may be my last bite at the apple with the leverage that I've got. So to me, I would stick and stay if I were him for as long as I can. And the Bengals could potentially, oblige him by waiting also. I'm just throwing that out there,
Well, okay, let's separate each of these because there's a few different situations. With Micah, part of the reason that he can be so cool and calm about the situation, including when he's talking with TJ, is the fact that by Micah's own words, he and Jerry Jones had essentially a handshake agreement on a deal months ago. Micah knows exactly what the type of contract is that he's going to be getting. If anything, he's going to end up getting more than what he would have gotten had they finalized the deal back in March.
Right.
Part of the thing with the Cowboys has always been Jerry Jones is a believer in doing long-term deals. There was a time that doing 6-year extensions, 5-year extensions, that was commonplace in the NFL. You look across the league in free agency this year, I believe there's only one 5-year deal done in the entire league, and that was Will Fry's, his deal with the Vikings. Everything is trending towards shorter term deals, higher percentages guaranteed, and not having those tail type years. The Cowboys, their history has been you do longer deals, 6-year extensions, if not longer in the case of a guy like Tyron Smith, but you do strong cash flow up front, and then there's team friendly back years on those deals where you end up having somebody at a rate that you can sustain for a long time. With Micah, my sense would be it's not even about the money, because if they had a handshake agreement, the money's already in line. Now this is about, does Micah, who I believe is 25 or 26 right now, does he want to be under contract all the way out until his mid-30s, or does he want to get another bite at the apple around 29 or 30, which is where you see, TJ Watt and Trey Hendrickson coming back here. So that one should be able to get done, but it may require the Cowboys to do something that they've shown in some other recent years and deals that they've been willing to do. They did it with Dak. They did it with CeeDee Lamb. Say, hey, all right, we know what we've wanted to do historically, but if we're going to get this done, we're going to have to shave a year or even 2 off that type of an offer and get this thing done. With Trey Hendrickson, he already feels like, Rich, he's been patient. I am with you. If that TJ Watt deal gets done in particular, because the Bengals, like any other team, will go, hey, this is a 26-year-old guy, you're 31. We're not doing that same type of deal. TJ Watt gets done, and they're like 2 months apart, I think, in terms of age.
Right.
Then Trey Hendrickson's going to go, if you're doing that for a guy who hasn't been as durable, wasn't as productive last year, I should get even more. At the same time, Trey Hendrickson has been trying to get a new multi-year contract for like 2 years now. He requested a trade last offseason, and then obviously he came back this offseason and has been very public in this entire thing. He would like to get a multi-year deal that gives him security and keeps him in Cincinnati. To this point, the Bengals just have not stepped up with significant enough of an offer for him to take it. But again, he's not been asking for over Myles Garrett. If TJ Watt and Micah Parsons, for that matter, outshoot Myles Garrett, then suddenly I think you have to have a little bit of a recalibration and say, okay, now the market for 30, 31-year-old defensive ends has gone from here to here. It's going to cost you even more money to get this deal done. We know the Bengals history too. with contracts. At times, these things take a while. We saw it with Jamar Chase. They offered him a very similar type of a deal to Justin Jefferson 2 off seasons ago. Jamar Chase ultimately did not take it. Then the market got reset multiple times in this offseason, and all of a sudden Jamar Chase got substantially more money, albeit with a cash flow based on what he played for last year that you can argue whether or not he actually benefited from the bigger deal. But in terms of the average per year, it ended up being more. The Bengals now, they could find themselves in that situation with Trey Hendrickson. Let's see how things play out, particularly over these next 4 or 5 weeks before we get into training camp.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.